Thank you for choosing St. Patrick's to have your quinceañera. We will do everything we can to make sure it's a wonderful celebration. For all your guests, please have them come inside as soon as they arrive. We don't want them to be outside together talking. We want them to come inside as soon as they come, to have their temperature checked, have their hands sanitized, and to go ahead and come inside and sit down. When everyone's ready, the priest will cue the choir. The only people that can process in together is the quinceañera with the parents, or any two people that you choose to walk the quinceañera down the aisle. After the music begins, give it like 10 or 20 seconds, and then go ahead and begin walking after the music begins. You walk kind of slow, you can see the pace, and the quinceañera is carrying her bouquet or her ramo. You can see the godparents on the other side that have another ramo. That other ramo is for the Virgin Mary at the end. You can see the mother blesses the quinceañera and takes the bouquet from her. The father also blesses the quinceañera and helps the quinceañera to her place. He may need to help her with her dress in the back to make sure it's sitting on the bench correctly. The mother can also help with that. Afterward, you can see that they bow and they go back to their seats. Always remember, when coming toward the altar or leaving the altar, we do a little sign of reverence, a bow with our head. The priest will begin in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Everyone will be standing. Please also note that the quinceañera does not need to wear her mask during the celebration. She can not have the mask on the whole time. It's up to you, but she's the only one in the church that's allowed to not wear the mask right now. After the opening prayer, the person who will read will bow and come up. This is the lector, the person who will read. This can be a member of your family or a friend, a comadre, or a friend. Any Catholic can read for you. If you don't have a Catholic that wants to read, please let us know before the Mass so that we can have someone ready. The person will come up and will bow as we just saw her bow. So make sure the microphone is on. It should have a green light. It's a little mute button there. Anyway, the reading should be right there in front of her. You can find these readings on our website, or maybe when you first registered for the quinceañera, you received these documents. The reader will bow again toward the altar as she leaves. He or she leaves. As they go back, they'll bow one more time before sitting down. After the reading and after the preaching, the priest will give the quinceañera Holy Communion. This is a real Mass, and the Mass is being offered for the quinceañera. She will be first to receive Holy Communion, and she'll receive it in her hands. Of course, she won't have the mask on, but this is just a video that we made, so she's wearing the mask in the video. The quinceañera will receive the Holy Communion there. And then the parents and godparents will take turns. We go one side before we do the other side. As you leave your pew, please bow and remember to receive the communion in your hand. Walk a few steps away from the priest. Remove your mask and then receive Holy Communion and walk back to your seat. Please remember that we have confessions available every Thursday and every Friday from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Sarah Center. So please, before the Mass, please, for the quinceañera and the parents and godparents, to go to confession so that everyone can receive Holy Communion. After Holy Communion, the priest will invite everyone to do a prayer after Holy Communion. Everyone will stand, we'll pray together. Everyone will sit except the quinceañera, because it's time for the quinceañera to do what is called the act of thanksgiving and commitment. The priest will give the quinceañera a microphone and will give her a copy of what she will say. She does not need to memorize this, but she will have it in her hands and she will speak it into the microphone. Afterward, the priest will come and take the microphone and the paper from her, and the next thing he will do will be a blessing of the quinceañera. with holy water. After the blessing, it will be time for the quinceañera to take a bouquet of flowers to the Virgin Mary. Of course, you can have multiple different padrinos, and each padrino can have their different thing that they're doing. So this group of padrinos is the padrinos of the ramo. And so this ramo can be, of course, very natural. You could just find flowers in your garden, wrap the bottom with like a ribbon, and that is perfectly fine for Our Lady. The quinceañera can walk by herself or be led or assisted with her parents to the place where the Blessed Virgin Mary, the statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary is, and she will leave her flowers there for her. She'll kneel there and say at least one Hail Mary prayer. During this time, anyone, can move this bench back out of the way. This group of padrinos can go ahead and sit down while the quinceañera is honoring Our Lady. And then the quinceañera with the family will come back. It is common during this time for the choir to sing a song to Our Lady. Remember always when you're coming toward the altar or leaving the altar, we always do this sign of reverence. The quinceañera will now turn toward the people because there'll be some more things we want to present the quinceañera. Here, the padrinos, or a different set of padrinos if you choose, will present a Bible and a rosary. Please bring these things, including the ramo, to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Bring them first to the priest so that he may bless them. And then, in this case, we will be giving them to the quinceañera. The priest might describe why we're giving the Bible and the rosary as it's happening. The quinceañera will receive them and then hand them back to the padrinos. They will then bow and go back to their seats. We only allow the giving of religious, spiritual things. So the Bible and the rosary and the ramo are the only things allowed to happen after or during this quinceañera ritual. If you have a crown, we don't want to do those things. You can save those things for the reception. The priest will take a picture with the quinceañera if there's a photographer. And then after the picture, we will have the final blessing. And this is the final blessing over everyone. Now, some priests might add another applause, an applause for the quinceañera somewhere before this or right now maybe. But just know that even if the priest doesn't himself lead you in an applause, when it comes time for the end of Mass, the music will start again. And as soon as the quinceañera turns around, so everybody will bow and the quinceañera will walk out. As soon as she turns around, everybody should be clapping and applauding as the quinceañera leaves. In this case, the family allows the quinceañera to walk out by herself. It's kind of a sign that she's getting older and she's becoming more independent. Thank you so much for having your quinceañera with us and trusting St. Patrick's community with the wonderful moments of your family.